Welcome to your own homework helper class, where we break down tricky grammar concepts and make learning easy. And dear Lalas, our today's lesson is about the second type of affixes, and this type is called suffixes. We know that a suffix is a group of letters added to the end of a word to change its meaning or grammatical form. Suffixes are used to create new words, alter word meanings, and to tell us about the function of a word in a sentence, such as making it a noun, adjective, or an adverb, etc. Okay, now the question is why are suffixes important? So there are a few valuable reasons due to which suffixes are important. Number one, they help expand vocabulary. Number two, they clarify the role of words in sentences. And number three, they allow us to create variation of a root word to convey different meanings. In our today's lesson, we are going to learn three different suffixes which are commonly used in the academics. But before we actually dive into the world of suffixes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. Let's take a start with the easiest suffix. Our suffix number one is er. The suffix er often turns verbs into nouns, indicating a person or thing that performs an action. Just have a look at the word teacher. The word teacher is formed by joining teach, a verb, and the suffix er. So then we get teacher, which is a noun. Now just have a look at the word play. When we add er to it, it becomes player. When we add er to the word conquer, it becomes conqueror. Now the word conquer is a verb which means to gain control or victory over something, whereas conqueror is a noun and it refers to a person who defeat others, typically in a battle, or take control by force. Have a look at the word discover. By adding er to it, it becomes discoverer. Similarly, there's another word, travel. When we add er to it, it becomes traveler. Just have a look at the word painter, which is formed by paint and Now let's have a look at a few more words such as builder, designer, photographer, reporter, gardener, researcher, plumber, and carpenter. And all these words, the suffix er is used. Talking about the word plumber and carpenter, the suffix er is used with its root word as a derivative of the Latin words. Now moving towards our suffix number two, able or ible. The suffixes able and ible means capable of or able to be. They are added to verbs to form adjectives describing something that can be done or experienced. Earlier, we discussed that by adding the suffix to a verb helps us to make a noun. Now, contrary to that, by adding the suffix able or ible to a verb, convert it into an adjective. First up, perishable. Perishable describes items, especially food items, that can spoil or decay. For example, milk and fruits are perishable. The next word is debatable, which is formed by the verb debate plus able. So anything which is open to discussion or an argument is called debatable. A next word is wearable. Anything which can be worn, it's called wearable, such as your clothes, your sunglasses, your jewelry, if anything which you can wear is called wearable. Our next word is evade. We do not use this word commonly in modern English. When we add evade with able, it becomes evitable, which means avoidable. We can use this word in a sentence like a traffic jam might be evitable if you choose an alternative route. Our next word is predict, which means to foresee or to say what will happen in the future based on your knowledge, experience, or evidence. But when we add able to it, it becomes predictable, which means expected. For example, his reaction was predictable because he always responds that way. Or we can say that the movie ending was predictable. Okay, our next word is manage. When we add able to it, it becomes manageable. Similarly, there's another word cure. By adding able to it, it becomes curable. There are a lot of other words which we can easily convert into adjective by adding able to it. Keeping in mind that suffix able is often added to complete words. For example, comfort plus able makes comfortable. But there is a rule for it that if the root word ends at E, drop the E before adding able to it. Take the example of the word adorable. We have to drop the E before adding able to it. But there is an exception as well, that in words ending with CE or GE, retain the E to maintain the soft pronunciation. For example, changeable, noticeable, manageable, etc., etc. And talking about suffix able, the suffix able is typically added to incomplete root words, often of Latin origin. For example, this word pause, which is derived from a Latin word posse. When we add pause with able, it is converted into an adjective called possible, which means feasible or something that can happen or can be achieved. Now just have a look at the word odd. It is derived from a Latin word audilis. This word odd is related to hearing. So when we add ible to it, so it becomes audible, anything which can be heard. You must have noted that all the terms having odd as a root word are related to hearing one way or the other. For example, audience, auditory, audible, etc., etc. Similarly, there's another root word of Latin origin, vis. This root word is related to vision. So when we add able to it, it becomes visible, something which can be seen. There are a lot of other words with the suffix able in it, such as edible, possible, permissible, sensible, tangible, feasible, and legible. Most words ending in able and able follow a specific pattern, but a few exceptions don't fit into the usual spelling rules. Here are a few examples: contemptible, formidable, flexible, combustible, and so on. Our third very important suffix is suffix cracy. The suffix cracy comes from the Greek word kratos, meaning power or rule. It is used to form nouns that describe types of government, rule, or influence. Just have a look at a list of these words such as democracy, bureaucracy, theocracy, autocracy, plutocracy, aristocracy. All these words ending at cracy show a kind or specific type of rule. First, we have democracy, which means rule by the people. In democracy, citizens have the right to elect their leaders and influence decisions. Our next word is bureaucracy, which means ruled by the officials and administrators rather than by the elected leaders. Bureau means office and cracy mean to rule. Next in the line is theocracy, which means ruled by the religious leaders. Theos means God and cracy means rule. So a government which is ruled by religious leaders or religious laws is a perfect example of theocracy. Next, we have autocracy. Autocracy means ruled by one person. A system where one person has total control. Kings, emperors, or dictators who take all decisions without consulting anyone else. That's autocracy. Then there's plutocracy, which means rule by the wealthy. In this system, the richest people influence the government decisions, often putting money before the needs of the regular people. Finally, we have aristocracy, which means rule by the elite or rule by the best. In this system, power is in the hands of a privileged class, often noble families or wealthy. In the past, many European countries were ruled by the aristocracy, where the elite held most of the power and influence. With this, we come to the end of our today's lesson. Hopefully, you have enjoyed this lesson. If you found this video useful, don't forget to share it with your friends and show your support by liking our videos and subscribing to our channel. That's all for today.